guys. This is a new show called Perspective is Everything. I'd like to kick this off with a quote from one of my favorite books, The Artisan's Soul, written by Erwin Raphael McManus. On page 72, it says, "Truth is not nearly as powerful as interpretation." Now, all of my life, I have believed in an absolute truth. To suggest relativism, which is on the rise nowadays, always seemed silly to me. Like, for instance, if someone came up to me and told me that the chair I was sitting on wasn't made of wood, I would politely disagree with them because they would be wrong. I can understand the idea that many people looking at the same thing can see many different sides or different perspectives, but that doesn't negate the fact that there's many absolute truths about that thing they are looking at. For instance, the chair I'm sitting in is made of wood. Doesn't matter if you believe it's made of metal, um, because it's made of wood, and the carpenter who made it would disagree with you if you tried to tell him anything else. And that simply means that anything you think about something that is one way, but you disagree with it and think it's another, especially if it's something as static as a wooden chair, just puts you in the wrong. Just because someone makes a statement in opposition to a fact does not make them any more correct than is the reality will bend to their will. If something is not going to change for them. Perspective is a very tricky thing, mainly because everyone has a unique one. Now, I know what I said before, that everyone, uh, regardless of what everyone thinks, there is an absolute truth behind most things. But that doesn't stop there being beauty through every different perspective someone has. It's easy to claim that truth is relative when there's so many different sides to it. And what's even harder is when people are so absolutely sure of an incorrect perspective. Um, it ceases their ability to grow. The biggest mistake someone can make is forgetting the ability to change, to become unteachable, which means that they are so rock solid in their own perspective that they don't try to adapt, they don't try to change into different things. Much like when Galileo went up to the Science Ministry Board or whatever the heck they had back then, I don't really know. I don't know history very well. Um, and said, hey, uh, the galaxy is not geocentric. It is in fact heliocentric. And people didn't believe him because it was accepted as fact back then that the Earth was the center of the universe and everything spun around it. It's a little bit prideful, if you ask me, but no one does. But now we know, I don't know how many hundreds of years later, that that's 100% true. Life is fluid, constantly throwing things at us, giving us new experiences, creating new memories, um, essentially creating a larger version of ourselves in real time. We collect memories, we collect reasonings, we collect patterns and behaviors, and throughout our life, the only thing we can know 100% is that we are. I think, therefore I am, said a very old philosopher. Very old and very dead one. But his teachings live on! It is easy for us to convince ourselves that us or any like-minded person to us are the ones that are correct and absolutely infallible. When the only one in our world that we can be 100% sure of is ourselves, it's easy for us to get a big head about it. Um, we easily slip into the misconception that ourselves and any like-minded people are the only ones that can be right and have the correct perspectives. Many things make up a person, a topic which I'll cover later, that life is in constant flux. Like the quote by Heraclitus. 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 No man steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man. So I ask you, all of you, to keep your minds open during this series, because you'll never know what the river will bring your way. Now, I will admit that I was right. Now, I will admit that all of my own perspectives come from a theocratical or God centered perspective. So don't be too surprised if you see a bunch of biblical principles or passages in here. I will talk about topics as accurately as possible that my thinky thinker will allow that I am capable of doing, and lay it out for all of you to see, if you can take it. I'm doing this because I have seen so many people arguing and being confused over conflicting positions and misrepresented perspectives, and just people aren't communicating. I'm sure that's not true everywhere, but we can see mass hysteria quite a few places and people just screaming and not listening to each other. This is due to a lack of willingness to learn, like I said, to be teachable. Um, so, this is a series for the ponderers, the thinkers, the open minded, and anyone and everyone else in between. And whoever wants to, gather around and welcome to Pi. Thank you everyone for watching. This is my very first Pi episode. I was very nervous. Um, really small video. But thank you for watching. This is King Xylos, and I'm glad that you're here listening to me talk about topics and stuff. Um, subscribe if you want to. To be honest, I don't care. I'm doing this for fun, mostly for me, but if other people want to see it, go for it. It's up to you. Um, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll see me again soon, because I won't see you. Yeah.